So let's continue our work. We have our sign up functionality. Now let's also make sure users can log in. Of course, keep in mind that at the moment we have no real login. If we check the backend code here in login, in the end what we do have is just a dummy login where we check whether that user exists and whether that password equals the one in the database. But all we send back is just a message, which of course is not really anything that would help us logging a user in for real, because besides this message, we're not doing anything that would ensure that we differentiate between logged in users and not logged in users. We'll worry about a real authentication flow later in the course. For now, let's make sure we can at least trigger this dummy route here. So on the front end code, when we are in login mode, I basically want to replicate this functionality, which means we can actually move setIsLoading out of the if block and always set this no matter which branch we trigger. And then we can grab this try catch block here and move that into isLogin mode as well, so into this first if branch. We could also wrap the entire if statement with try catch if we wanted to. I will separate it here so that we can differentiate the two different pieces more clearly. So now we're sending this request, and of course now we're sending this to /login here, not to /signup. This is important because /login is the route we have here on the backend, /login. So this is the request. It's still a post request. It still contains JSON data, and it still contains some attached data, however, no longer a name, instead just email and password. Because when we're in login mode, we only have these two pieces of data. Then we parse the response, we check whether we have a 400-ish or 500-ish error code, and otherwise we continue. Actually, we don't need to log the response data anymore. We certainly do want to log the user here in here if we succeeded, though otherwise we show the error. I can also remove this console log here, by the way. So generally, this looks good. If we now save this, let's give it a try. Let's go to authenticate and try logging in with a valid user. So this is the correct email I used before and my correct password. And if I click login, it spins and this looks good. Now if we go back here, I'll try an invalid password now. And it spins and I got invalid credentials, could not log you in. If I enter, let's say, invalid email and a valid or invalid password, doesn't matter because the email doesn't exist, I also get an error. So this looks good to me. As soon as I enter valid data here, I am redirected, and I would say we got login down therefore. We might be able to refactor some code though, because we get a lot of code duplication here. We're sending our request here, and all this state management here really is duplicated. Now, for the moment, I'll leave it like this because the problem becomes clearer as soon as we also start sending requests on a different page, which I'll do now. I now also want to send a request here on the users page because there we need a list of users, and therefore now it's time to fetch such a list of users there.